Morning traders, and this is your Aussie day trade setup for today. So just a couple of things on the daily that I'm pretty much concerned about at the moment. And the first one is we've got a high, and then we have a ever so slightly bit of divergence forming, but it's pretty much a double top, and that is divergence in my eyes. Okay, so this is warning bells for me. If we look to the left, I don't really have, I've got all this congestion here where we're bouncing off at the moment, and I'm pretty much just taking the underside of this inside bar here. Okay, so that's the closest I've got. You can see there's a bit of interaction of that, and there's the fractal level there. Okay, so that's kind of the trend that we've got at the moment. This breakout here, so this cup and handle breakout here, is something I would like to see tested. Okay, and oscillators are warning me that that is what we need to be watching out for. So if we just move down to the 3 hour, ignore this last bar, that's nonsense data again. So the trend is very much the upside. There's no reason to be looking for shorts at the moment. We are at a level, granted. We do have some magnets to the downside, and I'm just going to put those magnets in. There's another one there. So all I'm doing is picking up these fractal levels, okay? And this one here, I'm just going to move. Let me just double check this bar. Nope, that's nonsense data. So the gap close is there. Okay, so those are the levels that we have currently the downside. So we've got 51145, we have 5928, and then I have a 5748. Okay, we've got seller stepping in here, we've got a pin bar off the top here, and we've got a confirmation bar here. So for me, there's probably a good chance that we sort of meander to the downside. And if I look at what's going on at the moment, 10 cents is flat. The US markets were very flat yesterday. 10 cents actually up 10 points, 0.03% up. Rand dollar is still hovering around 14.73, so no real change there. So at the moment, where's the Hang Seng? Hang Seng 0.25. So everything is pretty flat at the moment. And if we just come to the hour, there is some concerns on the hour. We do have a potential double top here on the hour. Okay, so you can see, I'm going to get messy here, but let's just do it. There's the neckline of the double top. It is a 312 point double top. And that takes us pretty much onto this level here, which is 50928, 50,928. So that's kind of what the structure is telling us. And I think for me anyway, the first level to be concerned about would be this one here, which is 51,145. That would pretty much line up with this trend line at the moment. Okay, and if I draw my trend line on the top, you'll see I have my channel. Okay, so if we just get rid of all the noise now and just look at two different scenarios that would be worthwhile trading. That's the first one, which is the closing range breakout, and you can see how we hit, pretty much we would hit the third extension, so the 368, or sorry, the 361. We got to the 261, so the 361 extension would have been tagged as well. And then the double top is pretty pretty clear. Okay, either double top or it is a range. So at this stage we treat it as a range until we get a break to the downside and a retest of it. Okay, so I'm still looking for longs here. If you look at the 30-minute moment, this trend is up. It's messy uptrend, but it is still up. And what seems to be happening is we sort of go sideways for the day, then gap up, and then sideways, gap up, sideways. So there's no reason not to expect that to continue right now. But for me, I don't want to be long at the top here. I want to be long off a level. And right now, I've got a level to the downside, and I have a magnet being the gap. So that's kind of the zone that I would want to be long off. Okay, if we take the 12 minute, you can see, look at the indecision on the 12 minute here. You would have made money out of this, no problem waiting for the pullback. And that pullback to the 50% Fibonacci, there was a big gap here as well, and then moved to the upside. And that would have been your target area anyway. See the price action telling you to get out. And then pretty volatile at the close. So we have broken through the alligator and pretty much almost tested the break as well. So we'll have to wait and see what the open says. But I do believe we've got a couple of magnets. If this range breaks or this double top breaks, and obviously there's a short scalp to the downside and then looking for another long entry. Okay, look at the diversions here on the oscillator. We've got a double top where awesome oscillator pointing down. And if we're doing that on a higher time frame, look how it's pointing down, our price is rising up. Okay, so the trend is up. I want to be trading with a trend, but I don't want to be trading long from up here. I want to see a pullback. And that's pretty much my view at the moment. Sorry, and then I missed something on the 30 minutes here. So we said the first trading was that. Then the second one is to take the first 30 minutes of the open and trade that. You see there's the 30 minutes, and we hit the range target on the break. Okay, so that's what I would be doing. Both of them will more than likely work out. Trend is up. If we do get a break below this level, I would expect the gap to get closed, and that would be a long entry. You see the range target is right there as well, and that would be a long entry for me. Let's just close off with the ichimoku and a run from the 12 minute up quickly. So if we look at the 12 minute ichimoku, we are fairly neutral. Okay, we are kind of range bound. We do have a coming together of Kijun Tikinson here. We're bouncing off the cloud. Chico span is through price, which is bearish, and then we have a cloud which is bullish. So we've got a lot of support to the left. That's all the cloud is telling us. There is support to the left. If we look at the 30 minutes, okay, we are almost bouncing off Kijun at the moment, but everything is still bullish. Okay, and again, even if we do move to the downside and we get this measured move, your entry longs again is at the bottom of the measured move. Take profit at the measured move, and you can see you're right off the cloud as well. Okay, so that's something that you need to pay attention to. If you look at the hour, everything is fairly bullish. We've had a close below Dickinson, but nothing really to worry about. But look at the thickness of the cloud. Oh, there is a lot of support to the left. Okay, that's all the cloud is telling you here. If we look at the 4 hour, this is where the concern starts coming in. You can see Kijun Tikinson far away, and Kijun is now flat, Tikinson pointing up, and that is an indication of a potential turnaround. Okay, so in other words, Tikinson will roll over to come head down to the bottom here, either cross it or alternatively bounce off it and back up again. We haven't had a cloud break retest either. So we've got 1, 2, 3 gaps to the downside, and we've got quite a few. I mean, if you just look at these tails. Each one of these tails, inside tails here, is a breakout. So you would expect them to be retested somewhere along the line. Maybe not in this week or this month, but definitely sometime in the future. The higher probability traders at these breakouts will be retested. Okay, so in other words, come back, bounce off them, and then move to the upside. And the last one is the daily. And the daily is pretty much bullish, very bullish, but any pullback, for example, just back onto that pin bar there, which would test the cup and handle, is still bullish. You know, for all intents and purposes, you can pull back into sort of close this gap here, and it's still bullish. You can pull back all the way down to 49919, 49918, and that is still bullish. Okay, so I want to see a pullback. Don't want to trade the short. I don't want to try ride a short to the downside because that'll be a counter trend. But what I do want to do is I want to see a decent pullback for an opportunity to get long. Okay, so that's pretty much what I'm waiting for. There are some short scalps on offer if we do break below. If we do break below 51213, this gap would be the first target, and then possibly getting the double top target being my next target. And I'll put that in for you now. So that is kind of the moves to the downside at the moment. So that would be the first target to the downside would be gap, second target would be 5900 or 5910. And if we by some miracle break to the upside, that will give us a range break target of 51832, and probability of that happening, there is a gap to the upside. I don't think we've closed that gap. Let me just put it in. I know we came close. So we've still got this gap here, and you can see how the ambushes are stepping in below the gap to try and move it to the downside. So we still have an upside target for a gap, and then if we do get the gap, I suspect we'd get even higher to 51832. Okay, so that's kind of my view at the moment. Trade this range as a range. Break to the upside, it's long, go with the trend. Break the downside, look for the range target and gap as your intraday targets, and I would then be long from those levels again. Okay, anyway guys, that's my plan for Aussie today. I hope it helps, and I'll catch you later. Cheers for now.